Right, buddy, welcome back to your latest Manchester United news. In this video, we'll be talking the latest on the new manager. There's been some huge updates. We'll be talking about Michael Carrick and also some other interesting stories that have come out. We'll be going through all of that. There's also some interest and some talks on Carlos Baleba, which we'll talk about. And yeah, that's really about it today. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to start off by talking about is Michael Carrick. So listen, he's been confirmed. Obviously, he's the head coach currently, but this is what is being reported from Rob Dorset of Sky. The club's hierarchy was not accelerate their plans for a new permanent head coach based on Carrick's short-term success. They were committed to a calm, considered, and strategic process with no decision expected until the end of the season. Carrick is currently not the favourite for the long-term role. The club prioritised candidates with proven strength of character, significant experience, and the ability to handle the intense demands of managing at Old Trafford. Lessons learned from previous unsuccessful managers in Ruben Amorim and Eric Ten Hag. If Carrick manages to guide United to Champions League qualification, he could emerge as a strong contender. This might also draw interest from bigger name elite managers Thomas Tuchel and Ancelotti. The message remained clear: United won't make knee-jerk reactions driven by current results, as even if Carrick's impressive interim spell enhances his standing, potentially opening doors to other Premier League opportunities if he doesn't stay. So that's what's being reported right now. Now listen, what I want to say about Carrick is he's done a very good job, and he's one of the names on the next potential Tottenham manager actually. He's obviously turned Manchester United results around last season this season, after being appointed in a short term. This has put himself in a great position for the Old Trafford job as it stands until the end of the season. Steve Holland has been an interesting appointment. So listen, what I want to say on Carrick, this is my thoughts at the moment. Listen, 5 games he's had unbeaten in 5, 4 wins, 1 draw, 5 very different performances as well. And I think we've seen kind of the positives of this Manchester United team in terms of beating City in the way in which he dominated them. Mentality against Arsenal to get the win and the way in which you controlled parts of that game. Comeback win against Fulham. Am I missing one game? Oh no, and then West Ham obviously yesterday. So we've seen different sort of approaches. We've seen good things, we've seen bad things. I think this is a big learning lesson for Carrick. And listen, come the end of the season, depending on how he does, depending on how the team keeps playing, there will be sort of a desire to keep him at the club longer. I think a lot of fans, if he does get United into the Champions League football, will put a lot of pressure, and there'll be a lot of reports in the media suggesting to Carrick to stay. But there's no doubt I've definitely seen a significant improvement in the way in which Manchester United have been playing football under Michael Carrick. It's as simple as that. I think there has been a change, there has been a shift. I don't think it's a simple thing as a new manager bounce. I think there has been better patterns of play. We look at a better team out of possession, in possession. Switching to a back four was very, very good. He's getting players in their decent positions. And I definitely think Carrick would be a definite candidate for that job come summer. I mean, listen, as I said, and as I have been saying, there's positives and negatives of keeping Carrick. The positives are he's someone who gets the club. He's already managed at the club previously as well. And again, I think it's the right step for him in his career. Obviously, and he would be a yes man for the Glazers and Ineos, and that's why that would probably be a benefit to them. Now, obviously, the downsides are if you keep on Michael Carrick and he does a bad job, there will be a lot of scrutiny to say why did Manchester United keep him on in the first place. Also, people could regard that he is too inexperienced, but I don't think that. But yeah, for me, as of now, Michael Carrick, come the end of the season, we will make a decision and I will make an opinion on it right now. I definitely think he is the favourite. The performances have been very, very good. We've played a lot of good football. Yes, there are still tweaks and there are learning curves, but the way in which he's gone about his time at United, the way in which he speaks in the media has been very impressive. And I think it would be great to see Carrick continue at the club for him on a personal. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens as well in the summer window. But again, United have to make a decision because obviously that will obviously have a massive impact. Now, this is what Fabrizio Romano said on De Zerbi. He's always one of the names under consideration at Manchester United since the summer. So in that case, it was between Ruben Amorim and De Zerbi. Manchester United continue to, with Eric Ten Hag after beating City in the cup final. And so in that case, the decision of the club was to continue. De Zerbi could open doors to the Premier League return according to my information, but at that moment, with Manchester United, there is nothing guaranteed, agreed or discussed. But first of all, United are very happy with Carrick and what he is doing. And second, United process of who's going to be the next manager is going to take time. It's still very early. It's not going to be a February decision. Then on Thomas Tuchel, he's emerging as the preferred choice to be Manchester United's next manager. Tuchel might be in pole position because of the circumstances out of his control as much as his managerial abilities, Luis Enrique is expected to sign a contract extension at PSG, but Ratcliffe and co appear to want a superstar name, a manager with proven history of success, someone who will get tongues wagging and start egos throbbing, a coach who can challenge for the Premier League and Champions League. Now that second part on Tuchel come out from the Cross Daily Star, I believe it was, and MEN as well. So some decent sources in there. Listen, what I want to say on Manchester United's next manager, we know United want someone with Premier League experience. Obviously, Carrick is an option there at the moment. I think for me, out of the options that we've been linked to, so that would be Tuchel, Nagelsmann, De Zerbi, Enrique, and Ancelotti. Of course, Enrique is the preference, but in terms, if we're being most realistic, the most likely manager that Manchester United are going to get, in my opinion, is Thomas Tuchel. He's out of contract at the World Cup, after the World Cup with England. Depending on how he does in that World Cup will probably determine if he stays or goes. I think he's definitely a good manager. He's got that proven Premier League experience. He's won a Champions League. He's managed at some top clubs already. Again, though, he wouldn't be a yes man. And if Manchester United are to go out and get a superstar manager, they have to be able to give him some sort of sporting and control over the transfers. That was the big sort of disagreement, and that what led to Amorim sacking. So, listen, it's a manager update there. It's not kind of too much. It's what we've kind of known already. United will obviously be doing their processes and looking at which managers they could bring in now. And it will be a long process. It's going to take maybe 5 or 6 months. And that internal process will continue to going on. A lot of names will be mentioned, the likes of Pochettino, De Zerbi, Tuchel, Nagelsmann, Ancelotti. There'll be more mentioned. Areola, I've seen Eddie Howe. Most managers will be linked with a Manchester United job. Who we actually go out and get is a totally different scenario, but that is what's being reported. Michael Carrick at the moment, there's no sort of decision on what's going to be made with his future. United are not expected to make any knee-jerk reactions. They're going to wait to the end of the season to make the decision. Obviously, we know who they want. They want a Premier League experienced manager who can win trophies and win Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. But again, depending on how Carrick does, I think that will kind of shape their decision. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Baleba. But Brighton will not consider offers below £100 million for Baleba and won't be rushing to a sale. Manchester United remain interested, and the player would be open to a summer move. Now, what I want to say about Carlos Baleba is he's someone who wants to join Manchester United. He wants to join Manchester United, and that's something that we need, in my opinion. I think we do need to bring in a decent manager. We need to bring in, Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba, for me, very good player, talented player. Wants to join Manchester United. Yes, we know Brighton want an expensive fee, close to what they got for Caicedo all those years ago. Simply, that's not going to happen. I think Baleba's performances this season haven't warranted for that price to be around £115 million. Yes, he's a good player, but he doesn't have as many suitors as an Anderson or a Wharton. Now, in my opinion, and what has been reported, he definitely is a priority for Manchester United. They've been tracking him for a long time. The player wants to move to Manchester United, and last summer United explored the deal. And there's been nothing kind of reported. I think the region that we've seen, I think it was an article from Nathan Salt in the Mail saying that it's going to cost north of 60 million to get Baleba, and I don't think that's a surprise. He's a very top player. He's got a lot of quality, a lot of potential. And for me, £100 million fee, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Brighton are going to demand that. But I think United will try and bargain it down. Could they potentially offer some players in a swap deal? Potentially. But we'll have to wait and see. But that is your latest Manchester United news. Some interesting thoughts there. Obviously, the game yesterday against West Ham, I've done all my post-match stuff. It was a disappointing game. I think United could have got the 3 points. But a draw is probably the fair result. I think Yoro was fantastic. And I think he's someone who, again, can be a very important player for United, and when he come on, I thought he defended fantastically well, and without him I don't think we get the points. I think Le Mans was very good. The whole team was good. We just couldn't get into the final third and get the likes of Mbeumo, Cunha, Ahmad, Bruno into the game. We would get into decent promising positions, but there was just no real end product there. But let me know your thoughts, and as I said, I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.